Hey guys, welcome back to my channel all about cricket. So, what a day it was of Test cricket for the cricket lovers. The fifth day of the ICC World Test Championship final between India and New Zealand. At the end of the day, what I can say is the game hangs in balance. I would say just somewhere around 53 to 47. I would give this to New Zealand rather than India. The start was a bit affected by the rain, which you know clearly meant that we would lose a few overs at the end of the day. More or less due to the number of the fast or the seamers that both the sides has, and the number of overs that the seamers will bowl, especially from the Indian perspective. Uh, Looking into the overcast conditions, we could easily imagine that the spinners, that is Ashwin and Jadeja, won't be bowling much, and bulk of the responsibility will be borne by the three quicks, that's Ishant Sharma, Bumrah, and Shami. When play started, New Zealand starting at 101 for 2, their overnight score it was, and Taylor and Williamson were very patient in their approach. I won't say they were slow, but yes, they were patient, and they were concentrating very hard. We could easily see the number of balls they left outside off stump. They were not cutting, they were not trying to flash at the ball, they were just playing the ball which was at least coming onto the bat, and just flicking it on the onside a little bit, and at times just dabbing on to the offside. If we check the hourly runs scored today, if we check how the run rate went ahead in each of the hours that passed by, we could easily see that the first hour was the slowest of the lot. 13 overs were bowled and only 16 runs were scored. Bulk of the strike was taken by Williamson, and they didn't lose any wickets in this hour. The second hour, a run rate of almost 1.8 when 18 runs were scored, and New Zealand lost 3 big wickets and 3 quick wickets, we can say, in a span of 10 overs. This was a time when we thought that India has gained the upper hand. However, I can say that yes, they did let it slip in the third and the fourth hour. The third hour, where 13 overs were bowled and New Zealand scored 44 runs for the loss of 1 wicket of Grandhome it was. The fourth hour is the one where I think New Zealand took the game away from India. This was the time when Jameson and Saudi were batting. Saudi also batted in the this was the time when both were actually batting. And when this hour started, there was actually a time when the predictometers showed that India has got more chances of winning than New Zealand, and by the time the fourth hour ended, it went again in favor of New Zealand. New Zealand scored 70 runs in just 14 overs and lost their 4 late order wickets in this. The fifth and the sixth hour, I would say, were shared with India scoring 31 and 33 respectively in those 15 overs bowled, and losing 1 wicket each in both these hours. So at an average, we can say yes, the run rate was a tad over 2, approximately 2.3 it was. And yes, we could have predicted that based on the overcast conditions and how tricky the pitch was. The ball was moving around. We even saw Shami and Ishant Sharma getting more swing when India took on the second new ball after 80 overs. Right. So let's see where the two teams stand at the end of the day 5 of this test match. New Zealand resuming at 101 for 2 were bowled out for 249, a total lead of 32 runs. Conway top scored with 54, Williamson with 49, and the knocks of Saudi and Jamieson were the ones which I think took the game away from India. Shami bowled exceptionally well today. Yesterday he was very unlucky of beating the bat on several occasions, but today he was on target. He took four, gave us for 76 runs. Ishan Sharma bowled very well, took 3 for 48. Bumrah was a little off color yesterday. He was a tad if and there, iffy jiffy types, you can say today. Ashwin and Jadeja picked up the rest of the 3 wickets between themselves. India starting the second innings was 64 for 2 when play ended. They polished off the 32 runs that they were behind, and there's the same amount of runs that they are ahead of New Zealand as of now. Pujara with 12 and Kohli with 8 are at the crease, with Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill going for 30 and 8 runs respectively, and Saudi claiming the 2 wickets that fell for India. Yes, so guys, this was what we saw today. Tomorrow is the reserve day when the play will be, when the play is scheduled, and looking into the conditions, looking into the weather forecast, we do predict that it will be a full day's play with no overs lost. And yes, they have to complete all the mandatory overs by the end of tomorrow's day. It might get extended a little bit more because we have seen that, yes, in England the sun sets a bit late. It sets by almost 9:30. That's the time the sun sets, so we have got light to play with. Okay, what I think is that in case if New Zealand would have batted a bit more, because we saw that the Indian bowlers were getting a bit tired at the end of the day, at the end of the innings, I would say. We can easily make it out by the way Ishant was bowling. His pace was just a little bit off, and so was Bumrah's. So in case if New Zealand would had extended their day, it would have been difficult for Indian bowlers because of the lack of match practice that they had as compared to New Zealand. For the rest day, that is, I'm sorry, not the rest, but the reserve day, which is for tomorrow. Okay, it's going to be a tight encounter, I would say. The 3 results are still possible. However, the draw, pipping the tables as compared to the win or the loss is concerned, because almost 2 innings have to be completed by tomorrow. It can be in New Zealand's favor if they bowl out India quickly, because we can't predict with the weather, okay, especially in England. So in case if there are overcast conditions, New Zealand will look for the swing, and they will look to bowl that line and length where the Indians are most predictable in nicking the ball. Yeah, just outside an off stump, almost close to 4.5 meters from the bat. That's where the exact line and length is on this pitch. If they bowl out India, I would say within the first session, or by the mid of second session, they have a good chance of wrapping up the test match in their favor and winning the trophy. However, if India wants, they can bat till the time they want and go for a draw and share the trophy with New Zealand. Or if they want, they can declare by tea, okay, scoring a bit quickly and declare just before the tee is taken, and then going after New Zealand, going a bit aggressive and going after New Zealand. That's where they have got a chance of lifting the trophy. So all the 3 results possible, guys. We just don't know what tomorrow's day holds for the final of the ICC World Test Championship. Guys, this was all for today. See you tomorrow after the match for a full review of the day's play along with the test match itself. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay safe.